As usual, stupid batteries ran out. So anyway, to continue, where does it end? Okay, so I'm going to preface this with, I totally understand where people are coming from, where the government's coming from, okay, you know, the normal rules, normal constitutional rules or procedures, whatever, don't apply because of this ongoing war on terror and terrorism, whatnot, okay? We had a terrorist. Remember, what I believe is irrelevant. I'm just saying, okay, so according to everyone, we had a terrorist attack, the marathon bombings. So basically, because of that, it was given permission that there was martial law in Watertown yesterday, Watertown, Massachusetts, you know? So anyway, I understand the government's standpoint that the ongoing war on terror justifies the temporary... Remember, understanding doesn't mean I agree with it, okay? I'm not saying I agree with it, I'm saying I understand it. It's a difference. I understand the government's standpoint that the ongoing war on terror justifies the temporary suspension of normal constitutional procedures, like law officials not being able to traipse through people's houses without those law officials first having to obtain search warrants, okay? But I still have to ask myself, where does it all end, okay? Because first, it will only be under certain special circumstances, i.e. we're trying to find a terrorist suspect, whatnot, okay, that the police will be given free rein to search any person's house without first obtaining a search warrant, like what happened to hundreds of Watertown residents yesterday. From what I saw on the news, the police said they searched 70. I mean, I put hundreds, it could be thousands, I don't know. I know it had to have been at least hundreds of houses were searched. I'm sure if it was happening to me, and I'm sure if it was happening to any smart people out there, would remind them of what they've seen in movies, where you just sit there and the police are allowed to search everything and whatever, and the police are walking around outside, you know. I'm sure it was very traumatic for a lot of people. But all the sheeples are gonna welcome anything like that with open arms. They might not like it, but it's all in the name of their safety, you know, and they value their safety more than they value their freedom. So anyway, first it will be only under certain special circumstances that the police will be given free rein to search any person's house without first obtaining a search warrant, like what happened to hundreds of Watertown residents yesterday. And before you know it, folks, special circumstances will be tossed out the window, and the police will be able to search any house at any time for any reason, just like I've seen featured repeatedly in movies about the Holocaust. Do I believe that's going to happen? Oh yeah, I do. That's not conspiracy theory, that's just my common sense. If it could happen now, where the governor declared, you know, that all public transit was shut down, and it was basically martial law in Watertown, and police were walking all around everywhere, and most importantly, police were allowed to, without having to first obtain search warrants, search everybody's house. Okay? My common sense tells me that this happened now, and the next terrorist attack, it will happen again, and again, and again, and pretty soon it will just be the norm, and it'll be for any reason. The police will be allowed to search any house at any time for any reason, and they won't have to go through the procedures, you know, normal constitutional procedures of obtaining search warrants first. And you think those police are, you know, sure, they can be searching for one or more terrorist suspects, and then they might find other stuff in your house, but of course, like I told you in the other video, you know, like idiots said to me on 3rd Street Promenade to me and Donald, well, about the real ID and the government, you know, spying on us. I don't care if the government spies on me. I have nothing to hide. You have nothing to hide until someone doesn't like you and they, I don't know. I'm an English major. I studied a lot of crap. I saw things, you know, what happened, like those Salem witch hunts and the Crucible and all this crap where they would, you know, you could accuse your neighbor of doing something, and it's just, I see it. I see it. Like I said, I'm not busy studying all that stuff. I know enough. My intelligence tells me. I don't think what happened in Watertown yesterday has ever happened in the history of the U.S. And it set a precedent that, I mean, it's going to happen again. I'm sure it will, but most people, unfortunately, you know, they're going to welcome it with open arms because it's all in the name of public safety, all for our own good, to protect us from the terrorists or whatever, you know. What do you want, you know? Whether I agree with it or not, I mean, I see the government's viewpoint, you know. These are new times, these are special circumstances. So the United States is under attack from terrorism, and, you know, and that's going to justify the temporary suspension of normal constitutional procedures, such as policemen having to obtain search warrants before searching people's houses. Because time was of the essence, of course, and it would be impossible to get search warrants to search everybody's house. No, we're living in different times now. But I see it. I see what's most likely going to happen. And I don't think that's being a conspiracy theorist either, because to me it's just common sense. Okay? The governor did it. The governor here in Massachusetts did it yesterday. So the next time, it'll be done again. And again and again, and then before you know it, it'll become the norm, where it will no longer be necessary, like I said, it won't be necessary anymore for policemen, law enforcement to obtain search warrants, you know, because we're in the war on terror, and it's just no time to get searched and whatever, and the police, just like we've seen in movies, you know, be able to, like is going on in other countries, you know, be able to search anybody's house at any time, for any reason. All in the name of public safety, all for our own good. And I can guarantee you, what I'm also seeing, of course, you know, is that most people are going to welcome it with open arms. They're going to welcome it. They're not just even going to accept it. They're going to welcome it with open arms, because this is how we're being kept safe. This is how we're being kept safe. We'll hand over all our constitutional rights and freedom just so you keep the bad guys from killing us. Whatever. Whatever. Whatever, you know. This whole existence always been a joke to me anyway, so I have no idea what the future holds. I could die tomorrow anyway. thinker. Always been a thinker. I was a thinker even when I was a little girl. I've spent my life thinking. So you're not gonna pull the wool over my eyes. Yeah, and what, you want them to be able to blow up this? I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about the domino effect. I'm talking about little bit we give up our constitutional rights and then pretty soon we're not going to have any left. But we'll be safe, It'll all be in the name of us being safe, We won't be free, but we'll be safe. Probably what's going to happen. Probably is what's going to happen. What are we supposed to do about it? Not a damn thing. I don't know. It hit home for me though 2 days ago because I had plans to visit my shelter friend and I couldn't do it because to get there I'm like far away now, and needed commuter rail and trains and buses and all this crap that was completely shut down. I didn't even know that. I walked a mile to the store and went to get on the bus. Oh. Because individual towns that weren't near there, were not, if it was contained, they didn't shut down every bus system. They shut down I'm like, can't go see my friend, can I? That's alright. Do it next week. Next week. I'm also going to go to a different mall and get new bra and panties. I haven't owned a bikini bathing suit. Because I was heavy, I haven't owned a bikini bathing suit in 12 years. So, I have a very, very deep side and a very, very shallow side, And of course, they conflict with each other. What are you going to do? I can't think about everything all the time. You go nuts. Absolutely nuts. Just think about everything all the time. Go nuts. Go nuts. I need the shallow input. I'm not drinking and dancing anymore. I'm not getting any kind of sex or affection from another person. At least I can exercise and get thinner and thinner and blast my music in my ear and speak that way, you know. So, and I have money so I go shop and no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm going down on somebody or something, okay, what do you mean, whatever, all of the serious stuff is still in the back of my mind. It never goes away, you know. It's always there, it's always influencing everything. That's just how it is when you're a thinker, you know. You can escape into sex or booze or drugs or music or whatever, but it's still going to be in all the serious crap still would be in the back of your mind, you know. What are you going to do? There have been certain men, I admittedly, I love. I busted my ass to look like this again. I came up from the dredges of whatever. I love when certain men out here, you know, write sexy comments under my videos and praise me and call me beautiful and whatnot. Of course, I love it, you know. But that doesn't necessarily equate with me wanting to play online with any of these men, you know. Sorry, but I'm aching to experience that in real life. It's not really fun for me to, you know, play online. Not when I'm aching so much to experience it in real life. Especially if I don't know what you look like, you know. So you can praise me all you want, but let's keep it like that, distanced, you know. Don't want any kind of even fantasy involvement with any of my fans out here. You can praise me all you want, but I really don't want any kind of interaction and ongoing back and forth, whatever. I have such a deep side and such a shallow side. Of course, they would cause conflict